All right, good morning here. One of your next projects you're going to be doing is this miniature picnic table that can be used as a bird feeder, a squirrel feeder, decoration. We're also going to be making a metal tin to go inside so you guys can practice folding some metal. So that's going to sit right there in the middle. And then eventually at the end of this, we'll probably drill a couple holes here. So if you want to hang it in a tree, you can hang it on a tree in your yard and the birds can fly and eat. So there'll be another video for this. So I'm going to set that aside. But what I'm going to show you here is the process of how you are going to build this right now. As you can see, all these pieces are laid out for you. They're all cut to 1.5 inches wide. Okay, and then the lengths are all different. So this one is 12 inches and they're all labeled. So as you can see, this is seat 1 and 2. Match that up right there. There it is. The only thing different on this one, the prototype, is that when we did the seat supports, we cut these at an angle as well, just so it has a little bit better look to it right there. Okay. So first things first, I'm gonna slide my seats away, the seat supports away. I'm gonna slide my legs away. I don't need those in the beginning here. The first pieces that you're gonna have to put together are these right here. So this frame. So these 2 pieces on each, these are gonna go together first because it's kind of hard to get any sort of nailer in here to get those connected. So after we do these, then we're gonna flip it over and we'll put the base in here. So I need to find any of these 8 pieces. So end frame, that's this one. So I'm gonna put those, well actually those are I got some pieces cut up. All right, so that's there. Now I need my top end, which is 4.5 inches, and that's that one. Okay. So I'm gonna be taking that and putting those together. I'm gonna kind of map this out right here just before. My frame sides are gonna be these ones. And then my top sides are gonna be these ones, okay? It's a little bit shorter here. I changed one little dimension, so the prototype isn't gonna look exactly like this, but this is what I want first. So what I'm gonna do is, this is where I'm gonna be gluing and nailing. So I'm gonna set these all down here, line them up real nice. Of course, the one thing I did not grab this morning was a pencil. You're definitely gonna want a pencil. Go. So there is a little bit of room here, but that's okay. We're gonna be gluing and clamping these. So that's where I want it right there. I'm gonna run and grab a pencil real quick. Okay, so to keep these in line, you could spend a ton of time measuring. But if you lay it out like this, I can just put a little dash right here where the seam is, and this one where these lines where it's gonna go. So now I'm gonna slide this out. And this is the first piece I'm gonna put together right here, okay? So I'm gonna flip this up, take just a little bit of glue. Don't need a whole lot. You wanna make sure you spread it out here in between your lines. it's gonna be like that, and like this. So now I can put this on here like this. And I'm gonna clamp it. Make sure it doesn't slide around when you're clamping it. Okay, should be pretty flush on either side here. All right, now, when we start tacking these together, because you don't want to use just glue, I'm going to show you a bunch of different ways that you can do this. One, we got the brad nailer, which is just going to drive in some skinny nails. Now, like if I were to do this, if you have this available, you could do the whole thing with this, because then you don't see them sticking out as much. But we only have one of these here, and there's going to be a lot of you in the classroom, so we are going to be using some nails, which you will also be pre-drilling first. So I got a little drill bit that's a little bit skinnier than the nail itself, so they go in. And then we got some screws here too. So I guess with this first one, since I do have some space here, I'm gonna put in just a couple. Put a brad nail in there. Now I should be able to take this off. It should be pretty stable. On that side, put another one in right here. I should probably put it down like this. Okay, that piece is set. Now, again, that's gonna go slide right in like that. Okay, so I'm gonna keep working my way around here. So I'm gonna do this one next, and I can actually make my measurements right off of this one here. Glue down. Match that up with my lines. For speed purposes here, I'm not gonna always clamp this. You guys are gonna clamp this, because it's gonna come out better. But just for time purposes, I'll try to put this together pretty quick. All right, so got those like that. I can slide these ones over. Again, make sure it's lined up. It's gonna slide in there like that. Okay. So what I'm gonna do next is put my lines there, and there. Okay. Now, same things like these ones. Put this up, put my glue between the lines. A lot of people like to use a lot more glue than you need it. Obviously, if you're doing cutting boards, you probably want to be a little bit more careful. But again, as I always say, glue is stronger than wood. The wood's gonna break before your glue's gonna break. All right. Centered right there. Uh-oh. That nail bent on me. Actually, let's pull this out before we even put it down then. Give me the pliers. That will happen with brad nails. Since they are super thin, they will tend to bend a little bit. Make sure I'm doing this correctly again. Okay, let's try that again here. All right, in between my lines. Probably use your air right there. I probably had it at a slight angle. Nope. Okay, so it happened again. So I'm thinking that in this wood, there's some sort of like grain that just does not like going that way. So let's take that out again. Maybe this is a good time to show you guys another method. Okay, well, I'm gonna do the other side real quick, just so we got it tacked down. There we go. Something right here that it does not like. All right, so I will use a clamp here. You know what, I'm actually gonna clamp it to the table. All right, I'm gonna take my little mini drill bit. I wanna make sure you're not going all the way through. It's a good depth right there. So I'm actually gonna go kind of next to that spot. All right, take one of my little nails. There you go. The cool thing with the brad nails is that obviously you're not gonna barely see it. I know it's kind of hard to see in here, but you get that versus a nail versus the brad nail, which is almost nothing. All right, one more to go here. That one went in good. All right. Those are all together. Perfect. Okay. Like I said, there are little gaps, but what I really wanted to do with this project was have measurements with pretty good, easy definable dimensions. I didn't want to be getting too crazy to make it exactly perfect. So if you did want to make this exactly flush on one end, you could do a little bit of sanding and stuff. So we got our table here. This is flipped down, so it's like this. So the next thing we have to do is put in our base, which is 5 by 3 3/8, and that's going to sit flush right here. So I can actually flip this around like here. It's going to go together like that, and then these ones will slide in there as well. So it's going to look like this. Okay. So the next thing you're going to do is put your base on. So I'm going to start this way clamp this one on. Put a little glue. Perfect. Next two pieces will be these. That's gonna be a tight fit right there, which is fine. Perfect. Glue that first, so I'm gonna put glue right here like this. Again, don't use too much glue, otherwise it's gonna ooze out. You're gonna sand it anyway. All right, that one's in there. I'm actually gonna put glue on this side too, since that one is a little tight. Oh, I got this backwards. I think I saw that. Okay, so your nail point is gonna be here and here. Perfect. Glue all over myself. All right, I can slide this one in. Again, that's gonna go right here. We nail these. Show you guys a different way. So if you're doing this at home, or if you try to replicate this at home, you can use whatever method you have available to you. You could do this at home without pre-drilling, but it's a really good idea to pre-drill, because otherwise you could split your wood. He's going a lot easier. But you gotta do what you gotta do. All right, so there's our top. Again, it is not exactly perfect. A lot of the cedar that you will be using is varies a little bit. It's pretty rough stock, but basically there's your top. You have a little bit of a gap here. That is one thing I might make a little bit wider for you guys, is the base. See, now this piece is a little bit, that piece would have been a little better. All right, so next part is going to be the legs. So we're gonna do the angled legs. These are cut to 31.6 degrees. That is just what is one of the stops on the miter saw. And I have these for easier purposes. We're gonna try to put them together right in the center with the same gap on either side. If you'd like, you could put it right to the edge here like this. I think that's what I'll do here. So I'm gonna put a little bit of glue right here. On both sides. My leg down. So I'm putting it right to the edge right here. That's where I'm putting mine. Again, that you could vary it a little bit if you'd like. It really does not make a big difference. Perfect. On the other side. All right, so there's one side. Flip her over here. I'll do this side. Well, you can see I have a little bit of a crack right here from where I put the nail in. It's just a little bit thicker. This is mahogany, if you're wondering. Some scraps I had sitting around. There. Another option you guys are going to have is also to use some screws. So I also have a different drill bit head out here. So if you're using a screw that's this thick, your drill bit wants to be a little bit thinner than the screw head itself. So if you can kind of eyeball it up, you want to be able to put them together like this and see some of the threads come through on the screw on the other side. It's kind of hard to see. You can kind of see it right there. That's going to tell me that this is still going to bite a little bit as it's going in. And obviously if you're screwing, you can't really do two things at once. So if I were to put a screw in right here, I'd want to clamp this. It's tough because you really don't have too much room to work with. But we'll show you here for example. So if I put this screw head in, or this drill bit in here, again, you got to be careful about drilling too far in. So I want to go in about that far, okay? So I would put it, start it right here. Back it out. And then I can put in a screw. If you want to get fancy, you could countersink these. And everything. But there you go. So you can do it with screws. A little bit more complicated. Again, that's something you're gonna see though. Personally, I wouldn't really use that. So I'm actually gonna tack it here real quick. And take that out of there. So, but just showing you that you can do that. I think these are too big if I slide that in. Yep, too big. So, all right, there's that so far. Next part is your legs. So the way I did this in the prototype, I flipped it up here on the side like this, and I took one of my seat supports and I put it flush on the top, and then I put the other one here. Now, you do need to find the center point for each. So if I were to grab a ruler, I am 7.5 inches long on top, okay? So if I'm gonna go to the middle, that is going to be 375. If my math is correct. Yep, looks like it. All right, so I have my midline here. These are 12 inches. So if you put a dash at 6 real lightly, match that line up with this line, you're gonna be in the dead center, okay? So I'm actually gonna put one of these on both. So we'll need that eventually. What you can do here is put a little line here, put a line there, and then I'm going to match up this line with this line. If you want to be super precise, you could keep this in here to have all 3 of your lines matched up. Again, not super necessary, but you also don't want to have it off centered like that. Okay, so I'm going to put a little dab of glue right here. On each side. Again, none of this is really weight bearing besides a little bird feed. I guess your squirrel could destroy this if they get a little crazy, but I'm not too worried about it. All right, I got it right there. All right, that is one side. Do my other side. I think I said 3 3/4, which is right here. I got this one marked. I'm gonna put my line right there, bring it down. Keep these lined up. Put my dab of glue. Again, I am rushing this. I am trying to get this video done very quickly for you guys. So you will be able to take your time. You're gonna be doing a lot more sanding. I didn't sand these at all. They're just strictly from the cuts. And lastly, I have my seats, which again, you can eyeball. What you're gonna do is measure. So I got, let's say if I put 9 inches, take a quarter on each side. Can line that up right there. That looks pretty good. I'm gonna put a little dab of glue. I'm gonna go right up to the edge here. Now this is the part where you want to be a little bit careful because we do have an angle here that if you put a nail through the end right here, it might stick out the bottom. So I'm gonna tack it in kind of a little bit more in towards the center. Other side. Again, you can see this is all scrap wood that I've used. You guys are going to be using cedar planks. So to keep these even here, I can put a straight edge on one end. And that looks pretty good right there. That looks good right there. So you can make this project for very cheap. Doesn't take much wood at all. And it looks pretty cool. All right, and there you have it. There's your little mini picnic table. This one's mahogany. This one is cedar. Again, you do have a little bit of gaps here, but that's fine. But there it is. You can lightly sand off your little pencil marks if you're not too worried about it. You can leave it. Make sure you're wiping your glue lines out of here when you're all done. Yeah, but other than that, that's pretty it. The last step we will do is we probably will drill 2 holes, which I'll just do right now. And we're gonna, actually I'm gonna make sure I have the right drill bit. But we're gonna drill 2 holes so we can put some twine through here so you can hang this in a tree. Other than that, there's your little bird feeder. Have fun with this project, guys, and take your time on it. Should be pretty cool. All right, bye.